And once that is done, again, if there are any incompatibilities, you fix them in the .sql file, and it goes for verification testing. Now, what are the prerequisites for someone to use DCW? DCW is, as of today, is a plugin, like I said. So you need to have IBM Data Studio version 3.1.0 full client version, and you can download that from the link which is shown in the chart. You also need Eclipse Platform SDK, which you can download through, again, Data Studio by going to the update site. And once you have done that, you can you will obviously have DCW as a plugin which you can download. Now, once you have DCW set up on your machine, which is again a part of IBM Data Studio, there's just a perspective that you need to switch on to, which is the DCW perspective. Once you are in that perspective, it's just a matter of opening another new project, creating a project. So the screenshot shows that in order to create a project, you would say new DCW project, and then you need to choose the source database and the target database, which in our case would obviously be Oracle as the source, and target can be DB2LUW standalone or DB2LUW PureScale. So standalone would mean you're trying to look at a single instance standard DB2LUW database instance. But if you're looking at an OLTP based application where the amount of data that you're managing is huge, transactions is something that is a concern, then DB2 PureScale is what we are looking at, right? So if you have a PureScale based infrastructure in place and you want to migrate your Oracle application onto DB2 PureScale, then the target database that should be chosen must be DB2LUW PureScale. Now, once you have chosen the source and target, the next step is to obviously extract the DDL for the various database objects, including UDFs, triggers, and functions from the Oracle database. So if you have Oracle connectivity from where the tool is being used, you can connect to the Oracle database and import the DDL. If you do not, then you can have that separately extracted and present to DCW as a flat file or a .sql file. So you can use either of the options, and you can use this import DDL extraction wizard, and you can just import the DDL file for us, which will be then consumed by the evaluation engine, right? So you just say import a DDL file. When you click on finish, it will ask you the path of the file. You just have to point it to the right file, and once you have pointed it to the file will appear in the Projects Explorer window. Now, once we have extracted the file, the next step is obviously to evaluate the contents of the file and find out what is the kind of compatibility that I can see for the existing code that I have. So for that, you again go back to the Project Explorer, right-click on the SQL file that you have, and then there's a database conversion option that you have. You just choose the database conversion option, and then you say evaluate and convert. So what it does is it will execute the evaluation engine and the conversion engine simultaneously, and the evaluation engine will basically report the compatibility, which will be in form of a number for you. So as of today, when you're trying to look at the compatibility, like I said, there is an email which is going to be sent to IBM team, which will take a look at who is doing the evaluation, because again, like I said, this comes from prior experience, and we would want to know who are the customers and business partners who are trying to migrate applications onto DB2. So there is an email which gets sent with the actual report, and it does certain validation to ensure that the customer is registered with us. And if the customer is registered with us, the report goes back to the customer in another email, which is again an HTML file, and the user is allowed to look at the evaluation report. So how does the evaluation report look? So on this chart, I'm showing you the evaluation report. So the first thing that it shows is the compatibility ratio. So for example, in this report, we are looking at DB2 10.1 as the target database for DB2. And then the compatibility which is being reported as far as the PLSQL coverage is concerned is 93%. So what it is saying is out of the thousands of lines of code that is given, 93% of the PLSQL statements can be readily moved on to DB2. And there's only 7% of the code which requires certain amount of attention. Not only that, it does not stop at that. It gives you additional information. So things like the summary of these PLSQL and DDL statements. So if you look at the table at the bottom of the chart, you will see that the DDL summary shows how many create type statements do I have in my DDL, how many create view statements are there, how many create sequence statements are there. And it also shows out of those statements, how many statements require certain attention, how many statements need a little bit of tweaking. So if you look at the chart, you can see that there is some other type of DDL where the number of those DDLs are 21, out of which there is one DDL that requires certain amount of attention, and the percentage of that is 4.76, right? Similarly, there are 10 create table statements, out of which 3 create table statements require certain attention. So what we're looking at here is it can pinpoint exactly to the area, right to the object which requires attention. So out of the thousands of objects that you have in your application, you don't need to worry about which one to change, which one not to, because the evaluation engine is actually going to pinpoint the right object that you need to focus on. Again, moving on, the detailed statistics, again, part of the same HTML file will give you more information about what is in the DDL that you have shared with the DCW tool. So it tells you things like what is the maximum line of code in the function, what is the average size of a trigger or a stored procedure, and all of that stuff, which will give you an idea of the amount of effort or amount of code that has been written already. Alongside, it also lists the problem areas, so the areas that require attention. So if you look at the bottom of the chart, you will see that there's a feature and a description for which it shows the count, and it will also show whether the feature is supported. If not, what is the workaround for that. So if you look at this chart, it's actually pinpointing the statement within the DDL that requires certain attention. For example, the feature listed here is execute immediate statement, which it has encountered in the DDL which you gave, and it is telling you that this statement is not going to be working on DB2 as it is. So what you need to do is you need to consult an IBM representative or look at the workaround which is given on one of the wiki pages. So what we are doing is we are not looking at the entire, we are not trying to isolate the entire function, but within the function, the right statement which needs to change. And it also shows where to look for information and how to change that. So the solution is already provided. All you need to do is go to the right website and find out what the answer is and then fix it. So it should be a matter of a couple of minutes for you to do that, right? Now, the same approach is going to be taken for all of the objects that require attention. So once you have fixed all the 7% of the code that required attention, you can also see that the converted SQL, because evaluation engine does not run on own, but it also runs the conversion engine, right? So you also will have a converted .SQL file. So as you can see, the after the evaluation and conversion phase is over, the Project Explorer will have another file called the converted.sql file. So in order to open that file, all you need to do is just double click on the converted.sql file. It will prompt you for a statement terminator, and by default, as of now, I believe DCW has only @ as a valid statement terminator, which you need to use. Once you use that, it's going to generate the converted.sql with the statement generator that you've chosen, which is @, and it will show you the entire new PLSQL DDL, and which is ready to be used on DB2. So all the manual effort here is eliminated. All you did was went through and wizard, provided it the SQL file, and what you got was converted SQL code, which is now ready to be used on DB2. Now, executing converted DDL, again, it's pretty much the same thing. You just right click on the respective DDL. So the DDL which are listed in this chart are as output of the split DDL process. So when you do a split DDL on a large SQL file, it's going to split them into multiple DDL objects, and you can see the names of the objects which are self-explanatory. So based on whatever objects you want to register, for example, you want to register sequences, you will just use DDL_sequence.sql, right click on it, go to the database conversion wizard, and then say run this SQL file. So while running, there are two things that you need to remember. One is, again, the statement terminator that you need to choose, and the target database, because you're eventually going to run that on DB2 database. So you need to establish a connection with the DB2 database. So there is another wizard, the connection wizard, which will pop up. It will either have an existing connection, or you need to create one by clicking on the new button. Once you do that, you establish the connection with the database, and you just say finish, on which the DDL which was generated, the SQL file which was generated, the code gets executed on the target database which is selected.